We're live. Welcome to Super Serial Showtime, everyone. As always, I'm your host, The Metal, and joining me is my co-host, Marsupial Gamer, who's back. He was asleep last time, but he's back now. And we're here to talk about movies, shows, whatever floats your boat. Maybe a comic or novel, too. Who knows? But, get your friends in. Get more people into the chat so we can all have a good time. And, hey, if you like the show, if you appreciate what we do at any point in time, you can always give a donation to streamlabs.com/vomitoriumlive. It really helps us out. And, we'll get into it. Hey. How you doing today?
Oh, pretty good. I'd love to be talking about the mighty golden
Patriot?
What's his name? Patriot. Yeah, that's it. Today, but I haven't gotten the magazine. I haven't gotten the comic yet. That would be nice. I hope they didn't send it to my last address.
Yeah, because then,
But I'll be on the lookout.
Yeah, right, because then the mail service has to realize that it's going to that one. It's like, oh, well, there's a change of address for it, so then it has to get rerouted back over here. It's a whole ordeal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I guess we'll see. Hopefully, it'll be coming in the next. I'm sure they send them out in batches, and I've seen people have gotten theirs, but still waiting. We'll see. But
Yeah.
I'm doing okay. I'm home because it's Labor Day. Happy Labor Day.
Yes.
Trying to find the perfect background, but gonna probably use one that I've used before.
See, I'm just cheery because it rained today, and I am pleased any day that it rains. Some people, raining puts them in a sour mood. For me, it puts a smile on my face.
Mm-hmm.
I even went out and jumped in a puddle for a little bit.
Yeah, it's very pleasant. Especially around here where we almost never get rain, and
See, you say
as a
that.
consequence,
But
the air is
a ton of
quite
rain
dusty.
lately.
Yeah, it's an abnormal amount of rain this year.
Yeah, it's because I'm
Very,
here.
very strange.
It followed
I
me.
guess.
Yeah.
I don't mind. I mean, I imagine it's not great for some of the plants that don't particularly like a lot of rain, but doesn't bother me.
Yeah, I don't know. Because a lot of desert plants, it's still hard to overwater them. They just don't absorb that much, right? Like they're kind of adapted to absorbing a little amount. The only problem is if enough rain makes it to where the ground gets loose and it actually ends up uprooting the plant because of mudslides or something. I think that's the only thing that could be a real problem for them.
Yeah, potentially. I mean, we did have, well, it was mostly because of the wind, but we did a lot of trees tip over, just completely get just uprooted.
Yeah.
Last week because of the storms. But yeah, and you can see that they've got this very shallow root ball that really just doesn't reach out very far.
Yeah.
So very easy to uproot.
Which is actually odd.
It's weird.
I think it's because those trees aren't a native here, right? Like the ones that fell over are probably ones that were put in here to make the area look nicer. And because plants that are native to the desert tend to be very small on top, like either skinny or stubby. And then they tend to have really big, long roots so they can get as much water as they need. So they're really hard to uproot.
Yeah.
But if you migrate things that aren't natural to the area, and maybe they usually rely on the runoff from your sprinklers or other things to keep them up, then yeah, they're not very deep in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would think most desert plants would have a really deep taproot.
Yeah.
That would just, because I haven't noticed cacti knocked over.
Yeah.
Certainly none of those.
Or
are
how
having
many
any problem.
how many palm trees have you seen over?
A lot.
A lot. Yeah.
That's the most.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if they're palm trees exactly. The kind of look saying are moved in from somewhere else.
Yeah. Because there's,
Yeah,
we even talked
I
about it too.
guess.
There's only one species that we might consider semi-native of a palm here, and it's like the Californian palm. Apparently, it was brought over here a long time ago and it's been here for longer than people have lived in this area. Those ones probably have deeper roots just because they're adapted for this area, but anything that's like newer probably doesn't.
Yeah, they look like palm trees, except the leaves. I mean, they kind of just come out like a umbrella kind of thing, but they're like part weeping willow, like these just really thin
I've seen a
branches
few willow
that come
trees
out from the
around here
top.
too.
Yeah, but they're lining the streets all over the place, and they can't possibly be native.
No,
because, I mean,
absolutely not. They need too much water.
half of them got knocked over in the middle of the street last week because of that storm. And I mean, they look pretty, and I guess they can survive without a lot of water. But yeah, they're not really adapted to, I'm guessing, the very sandy dirt. And
Yeah.
Oh well. But we've got some palm trees in the backyard that seem to be okay.
Yeah, one of them seems pretty old.
Those look like more traditional. Yeah. Those seem to be more like traditional palm trees that you might see in Florida or California. Like what you'd picture as a palm tree in a desert.
It's really funny that people often image palm trees at like an oasis in a desert, but it's like some deserts like this one apparently have palm trees that have become native to it, but a lot of the deserts that you usually picture like a random oasis like in the middle of Sahara, there are no palm trees in the middle of the Sahara. On the edges, sure, but yeah, like a palm tree seed was just like carried by a finch 1,000 miles into the desert and dropped off at oasis. Yeah.
Well, maybe they're all human planted,
Probably, if they're the ones
that
actually have humans around it.
Yeah. I don't know.
But I think maybe it's more of like the Mirage Oasis. The person imagining it is probably just imagining like an ocean beach, because it's like, they're surrounded by sand now, so it's like an inverted beach almost.
Yeah, I never pictured palm trees being in an inland desert.
Yeah.
They're mostly coastal, I would think. You just have the little scrub brush and the cactus and the cacti. Whatever the plural is, cactopodes.
I believe the plural for cactus is officially cacti, but in modern English, people pronounce it cacti.
Yeah.
This is we haven't even started talking about anything that's an actual topic on this show, unless we want to start talking about I Dream of Jeannie. They were at an oasis a couple times when they went back to like the desert where she came from. There's like,
I don't remember that.
There's like 3 episodes that have happened. Or actually, they were in the desert in the Scooby-Doo movies that crossed over with I Dream of Jeannie.
Oh.
Yeah. There we go. I squeezed some show-related topic in there. But there's a lot of words that it's just changed the pronunciation. They were taken from like Latin specifically. If you go from us to e, that should end with the sound like e, but we all say I now, like the plural for cactus being the case.
Yeah. Yep. So what else is going on? I guess I missed the video game show, unfortunately.
Yep. It was just me rambling for like an hour and a half straight.
Yeah. As opposed to the two of us rambling for an hour and a half straight.
Yeah. I don't know. You want to watch a marathon of I
Well,
Dream of Jeannie?
not really.
Oh my god, it's such a good show.
No, but I did catch up on the Rascal movies. I watched all 3 of them,
I've not watched a single one.
and caught up to I guess the current season, which is up to episode 9. But I've only watched 1 or maybe 2 episodes of the current season. So, yep, I would say of the 3 movies, the first one was outstanding, really, really good, with just a lovely ending. And then the next 2 were they felt like they were almost like spin-offs, or it's like somebody, like they were like, let's have a different studio do them, or a different, I don't know, somebody or other write it. It didn't seem as good of a quality as the
Was it animated the
previous
same?
stuff. Basically, but the voices sounded weird,
Okay.
so I don't know.
Well, a lot of
Or it
times
was just written poorly.
when you do these
It
like
just didn't put a lot of effort.
in between things, sometimes it does shuffle between teams.
In fact, they're so non-memorable, I can barely remember what even happened. At least I'm trying to remember. The first one goes into I can't even remember the names of them, but the first one finally delves into the mysterious girl who had
Oh yeah, you were talking about that last time.
saved. Yeah, it saved the main character when he was younger. And then after that, what the hell happened?
I'll be real. If we did not watch that series with it like very recently, there's almost nothing in that series that is particularly memorable for me. Like I remember it because it wasn't that long ago that we watched it, and I still thought positively of it. But if it was like 4 or 5 years ago, I probably would not be able to tell you a plot of like a single episode.
Yeah. Well, I think the final movie of the 3 was kind of amusing at first because it starts out with the guy, I can never remember their names. The main character, Sakata? No, Sakata, is that right? Talking to that girl as a child, because she eventually reverts to a child, and she's moving away. She decides to move away with her parents. Can you hear me okay?
No, I can't.
And she says to, so they go to the diner, I guess, that he works at. She's eating a milkshake or something, or drinking a milkshake, and she goes, as soon as I get to where we're going, I'm going to send you a picture of myself wearing a bikini. And he goes, please wait 3 years before you do that. Because she's like 13 or 14, something like that. And she goes, okay, in 3 years, I'm going to send you something that's going to cause you and Mai to have a big fight. And he's like, I'm looking forward to that. Anyway, I thought that was amusing. But yeah, it's basically just, the third movie, he undergoes essentially a very similar puberty syndrome that Mai had been undergoing at the very beginning of the show, where nobody can see him.
Okay.
So, and it has to do with his little sister basically reconnecting with her mother, who had been in the hospital for essentially a mental illness. His mother had a breakdown due to his sister's memory loss. So, sister's better, the mom is getting better, and he basically wonders if he's even part of the family anymore. So he begins to essentially become invisible to everyone. So, except Mai, of course. I can still see him.
Of course. I mean, it had to work the other way around.
Yeah, but he ends up. It's interesting because he ends up going to an alternate dimension where none of that stuff ever happened, and his sister's always been normal, and his mom's always been normal, and he's very tempted to stay there because it's kind of like what his life could have been like or would have been like if there were no puberty syndrome. But he realizes he needs to get back to his universe and deal with the issue. So he gets back, and he figures out how to not be invisible anymore. That was a good movie. So first one, great. Second one, I can't even remember what it was about. It was so bad. And then the third one, pretty good.
Well, I'll probably eventually watch them, but if I have to watch them on my own, I'll probably end up watching them in Japanese instead of English.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not a bad idea. Actually, no, I guess I am watching them in English, yeah. But, and the first one has an interesting thing about save. You know, if you knew someone was going to get killed, would you save them? If you knew, you know, and what might happen if you try to save them, what would change and all that stuff. It's this whole time travel thing, and they get 2 or 3 different chances to, you know, save each other from a car accident. It's very interesting.
It's kind of the main premise to Steins Gate, which you started watching. And I know it is just confusing you as to what the show is even about. After, like, what, 3 episodes or whatever? I don't even know how many we watched.
I mean, that's more than I normally would give a show because it's like none of it's made any sense so far, and it has not gotten any better. It's just gotten...
The weird part is I loved that show from, like, the first episode when I watched it the first time.
Well, I mean, that's the only reason I'm watching it at this point. I'm like, hey, this show is ridiculous and confusing, and I hate it. But you say it's good, so I'll keep watching it until it gets good, I guess.
Oh, yeah, it's because I found it so intriguing the very first time I watched it. Because, like, if you're, like, really paying attention to it, you could tell that there's something off just from the first episode, right? Like, there's things that, like, already time isn't making sense. And then right about where we are, too, it starts to set up as to why time isn't making sense, right? Like, they already revealed why there was a jump in the first episode because of the text he sent to Daru ended up going to the past, which, because he mentioned, what's her name? Kurisu Mikase's death to Daru in the past, that actually is the reason why he came up to her and didn't remember why he was, like, insistent on her not going down a hallway or whatever, because that confused him. Like, what do you mean? Why are you talking to me? I never even talked to you before. That's all because of a text message that he sent that ended up going through time, because Daru's phone was hooked up to the microwave at the time.
So Daru told her not to go down the hallway?
No. Daru...
Or he did?
Talked to Ocarine about the text that Ocarine sent him. So a different Ocarine would have told her not to go down, and that's what would have changed it. So we're already, in the first episode, you've already jumped to a different timeline, like halfway through the episode.
Yeah.
And that's when he was like... that's like when he was in the empty part, like where the town just felt completely barren and empty for a few seconds. That was him jumping timelines.
Oh. Okay. If you say so,
Yeah.
None of it made any sense. I couldn't follow any of it. Yeah. I completely forgot about that scene because it didn't make any sense to me, so.
Yeah.
But good to know, I guess. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah, it's a very confusing show. I'd probably say anybody's first watch through, but at the same time, you don't have to watch it more than once. As long as you remember what happened, everything kind of makes sense at the end of it.
Okay.
Right? Well, I say that. The first series kind of gets left off on almost like a cliffhanger. Then I believe there was a movie that resolved a lot of the stuff that kind of like finished the series. But then there's also like a Steins Gate Zero that fills in more of the gaps. There's actually quite a bit to the series.
Okay.
But they're all short, right?
Video game?
Each part is in the video game, but because it's an adaptation of a visual novel. But it's like a season, then a movie, then a season. It's like it's not a 100 or more episode commitment to getting through it.
Yeah. That's not so bad.
Yeah.
Oh,
I think one of the
what?
reasons I was really into series like that when I first saw it, and when I saw Steins Gate, I think it was still running. I was watching. No. I caught like the first episode while it was still running with fan subs. I didn't come back and rewatch it till the English dub was already out. Because that's how I watched most of the show. But like I'd watched the Melancholy of Haruhi Suzumiya, and I think like once you get into that show, all the other like weirder semi-paranormal sci-fi series kind of just get more of a hook to it.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a cult classic. But what was the thing that caught your attention?
It was just announced that, speaking of an anime that gripped me from episode 1, Spy Family Season 3 is debuts on October 4th.
Oh, cool.
So we're only a month away. I guess it'll be a continuation from Code White, the movie we finally watched. Did we watch that?
Yeah.
Did you watch that?
We did. We watched it.
Okay.
Like late last year or something like that, I think. Or was it early this year? It might have been after we were already here. I don't recall. But we did watch it. The thing is, like, and I was saying this about Code White when we were watching it, is that it had to kind of recycle all the way back to as if it never happened. So yeah, it'll probably pick up from there, but it will pick up almost as if Code White never happened. Maybe they'll write it in and mention it somewhere. Maybe they'll put like a family vacation picture in the background. But because it was something that never happened in the manga, they had to write that story in like a Simpson-style reset sort of way.
Yeah, I mean, they don't. Yeah. It didn't really affect anything at all. So, not a big deal. But I do like the I do like the fact that what's her name? Why am I blanking on the name? Kicked that guy's ass with her lipstick. Yeah. She kicked that guy's ass with lipstick.
Because it was flammable.
Because it was like flammable, oil-based lipstick. That was amusing. But yeah, it's nothing's changed. She's still in school. Still has to get the Stellas, so she can get invited to second son's house to spy on his father.
I'm just trying to figure out what mission that technically starts on. I don't mean what, because the mission number that they use in the show is just whatever the episode number is. So and the mission number in the manga is whatever chapter number is. So those numbers don't line up with each other. Like mission 15 in the manga is the dodgeball, but that's like mission 10 in the show. So I'm trying to figure out like where in the manga what mission they're picking back up on, because it would give me like a good guess of what the trajectory of the season's going to be.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think at the end of the last season, was that when he was?
I think it ended with
the
dog episode, right? With the fire and everything. Yeah, I think that was the last one.
Yeah. But before that, there was the one where Yor got shot in the butt.
Yeah. Which is one of my favorite episodes.
And they went out on a date. Yeah. Where she really couldn't even get comfortable until she was drunk so much that she couldn't feel it anymore. Or no, they gave her like a poison. She was poisoned, right? But she was, as an assassin, she has an immunity to poison, but it did numb her ass, so she wasn't in so much pain anymore. And I think there was a few missions, or maybe one big mission, where Lloyd had to work with that girl from HQ who's completely in love with him. They played tennis or something. They played a tennis tournament.
Yeah.
So.
And that's when she learned that Yor is like inhumanly strong. And she's like, I can't compete against this person. At least in tennis.
Yeah. Well, but
because they did like a little friendly practice match.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
It was either before or after. I think it might have been. Was it after they actually completed the actual mission? Or yeah.
Because she wanted to, I think it was something about the whole mission getting closer, and it's like, I want to prove myself or whatever, so she wanted to do, like, a friendly practice match with Yor, and it's like, you can't at all.
Yeah, you were unexpectedly.
Yeah, this person could genuinely just, like, rip the door off of a tank. Like, good luck with that.
Yeah, pretty much. Yep. So that's a very, very cutesy show. Maybe not for everyone, but I like it.
It's got its moments. I mean, I think overall it's a good show, but I'm talking about like for a broader audience. I think most people could probably find an episode they like, but then there might be a lot of it that just doesn't appeal to people.
I could see that. I understand. I do need to finish up. I was reminded the other day that I don't think I ever finished Uzaki-chan Wants to Hang Out. At least whatever's been out already. I think there's episodes I haven't seen yet.
Yeah. I wonder, I know the manga was either already done or it was close to finishing. I know they got together near the end of the manga, like it actually finished off. And there's a pretty hilarious moments of them actually getting together, but I don't remember if it finished or if they are continuing with them together or not.
No, I don't know.
But it's way further than where the show left off. Like, the show's really far behind because it just hasn't gotten a continuation.
Mm-hmm. Well, let me see here.
Oh, Fizz says the manga finished.
Okay.
I don't know if I should take his word on it. It probably did, though, but you never know, right? Sometimes even finished stuff like that picks back up.
Yeah. Yeah, if the manga's, I mean, I guess if the anime is popular enough, maybe they would. I don't know. But I've actually also been watching Shield Hero. Rising of the Shield Hero.
Yeah, as you mentioned.
And this was a good episode this week with, there was a big old boss fight. I've seen some people complaining that it was a big Hydra and that it was CG, which it definitely was. But I thought they melded it together pretty well with the regular animation. They had to figure out how to cut all the heads off at once. And so for that, they had to, have all of these different heroes coordinate together and take out one in their own unique way. And I thought they did a pretty good job of, they had to meld that all together.
Uzaki-chan says it's 2017 to present. Like, even the last volume that came out this year. And so I think it got picked back up.
Yeah, 13 volumes as of March 2025.
Yeah.
Well, okay.
So I'm probably even behind on that. because I think I haven't read anything from it in over a year. Of course, I haven't read anything for most things in over a year. I'm behind on like any manga I was reading.
I mean, it could be over, but their last, let me see, the English release date. Oh, it hasn't even come out yet.
Yeah. It said like the years it's running is 2017 to present.
Yeah. So the last book came out in March in Japan, and it comes out in English October 28th.
Yeah. There's a lot of these series too where they end multiple times, right? Like they come to a conclusion, and then it's popular, and like a couple years later, the mangaka picks it back up, and then it ends. And people weren't happy with the ending, and then like a few years later or so, the mangaka picks it back up, and then it ends again, and like a decade later, the mangaka picks it back up.
Well, from the looks of it, there has been no break. I mean, it's just been nonstop. 13 episodes in the last 6 years, or 13 books in the last 6 years. So it's like almost 2 a year every year. It's been no break at all.
Yeah.
I guess the only, I guess last year there was only one, but other than that, there's 2 this year. So anyway. Yeah. So Showtime is interesting. It's definitely not my favorite show, but it's not terrible. Been interesting. They did have a little bit of a fake out. Oh, that's not the real Hydra. Oh wait, there's another one. Oh wait, there's a third one. It's like okay, like how many times are we gonna have to defeat this thing? It's not the real one. But at least they've been focusing more on Raftalia this season, who is my favorite character of the show.
It's probably the best character in the show. But
yeah.
At least from what I remember. It's I watched, I think, an episode with you recently, but aside from that, it's been a long time since I engaged in it was like whatever it originally aired well over a year ago or whatever it happened.
Yeah. Well, they kind of forgot about her for a season.
Yeah.
She was really a background character for season 3. And so now in season 4, she is the main character of the season, clearly. It's going back to her town of origin and covering her roots. And so glad to see they didn't forget about her entirely.
Well, I've got something else for you to watch soon. Which actually maybe I need to binge because I never watched the first season. But in a few days, the second season of Pokemon Concierge comes out.
Oh.
On like September 4th.
Nice. I did watch.
Yeah.
There's only like 4 episodes in the first season. So.
I know, but I never watched it. So even if it's only 4 episodes, that's still a binge. Like I can sit down and watch it all at once. But
yeah. You can watch it in like an hour and a half.
Yeah.
It's barely a movie. They're very short, as I recall. Are they only like 10-minute episodes?
I have no clue.
Maybe less than an hour.
One.
Yeah. Oh, well, you should. It's cute.
It was something that I think I was planning to watch it, but it came out while I was moving. So I just never got back to watching it. So.
Well, like I said, it's very short. Definitely starring Psyduck for some reason.
Everyone loves Psyduck.
Yeah.
He's actually one of the most popular characters in the original season of Pokemon was Misty's Psyduck that she hated, who just come out on his own for no reason.
Yeah, he's had a headache,
Yeah.
I can understand. Start wandering around aimlessly.
Yeah, but you'd think the headache wouldn't bother him while he's in the Pokeball. So it's like he was just a goofball character that would come out even when she did not like summon him out from his Pokeball.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's not very cooperative. Although I believe, I don't remember it all that well, but I believe in this one, in the concierge, she found a way to prevent him from having headaches.
Okay.
I believe. Which is good because when he gets a really bad headache, he explodes. So
Mm-hmm.
probably a good idea.
I prefer Farfetch'd, honestly. Like, he's the better duck Pokemon. Especially like if you want some like picking duck, he comes with his own leak, which is supposed to be a sign of good luck, right? For people who know, Farfetch'd was like the crit champ in the original game. Very slept on. A lot of people slept on him. But he was a good luck Pokemon because there's an old, like, I don't know if you want to call it like an idiom, maybe an old idiom, metaphor, whatever, that the best presentation of good luck is that a duck arrives with its own leak so that you've got your whole meal right there.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. Which
Sounds
is
good to me.
I don't know why they called it Farfetch because that's not his Japanese name. But I guess like if you were lucky enough that a duck meal, like the living duck, arrived with a leek for you to cook it, that would be a pretty far-fetched situation.
Oh, probably.
You're like, no, dude, you're too lucky. That's a tall tale.
Yeah. But he used that leak to like beat people.
Oh yeah.
Beat his enemies with it.
They didn't even call it a leek in the English version for the longest time. Once like Pokemon could come with items equipped to them, he would always come with one. They called it a stick, which I guess almost makes more sense to how he uses it because he beats people with it like a stick. But they just said like Farfetch comes with stick. It's like that is clearly a type of onion. I can see it. You can't tell me that is a stick.
Yes. Very obviously.
I love Farfetch though. Definitely my list of like top 20 Pokemon out of like the 1,000 that there are. It's a great design for a Pokemon.
Yeah. Not too bad. I was trying to think of what else we watched, or can't remember. Didn't we finish something recently besides Jack Ryan?
Did we finish something recently? Trying to think.
Maybe not.
No, I don't think so.
I did watch the final episodes of Yandere Dark Elf.
Oh, you forced yourself to get through it?
Yeah. It is, pretty much more of the same, although it seemed like they kind of did. I don't know. They may have consummated their relationship at the end. It's hard to tell.
Yeah. You know what I would love to discuss, because it would be a very nonsensical and wild discussion, but you'd have to watch it, and I don't know if it's up your alley and you could force yourself to watch through it. But it'd be very easy to binge, and that's Hitalia. Which I think I've explained to you what Hitalia is before.
I don't remember.
It is a series that's supposed to be like a comedic history lesson, almost, but it takes all of the countries of the world and personifies them into people, and it personifies their like relationships with each other as well. And they're all shorts. It was a web show, right? It was a web like anime, and like it was maybe, I think most of them, they might be up to 15 minutes a piece. I don't know. But I think like Yandere Dark Elf, that's what I was thinking of. That was a web series too, right? They're like 15-minute episodes.
Yeah.
Yes. So like it doesn't take long at all to binge Hitalia. I think when I watched it originally, I might have watched it either all in like 1 or 2 cities. Yeah. The countries are not all gay. There's a mix of guys and girls in it. That's not to say some of them aren't, but
No.
they're not all gay.
Is this Italia Axis powers? Is that specifically?
Yeah. I think that, yeah.
Okay.
Because Italia is a way of saying Italy, right? Italia.
Oh.
So, and it is about like the time around World War II and the build up to it and everything after it. And so, like, Italy is really good friends with specifically Germany and kind of also Japan.
Okay.
It's a funny series, though.
It's apparently 6 years. Six volumes. Is that right?
Yeah.
But it's a web series, I guess,
Yeah, they were webisodes.
collected into 6 volumes. Okay.
There are a lot of web series like back then, specifically in that time period. Like even The Melancholy of Haruhi Suzumiya, which was an actual premiere TV show on like prime time, had a web series follow up where you could go and watch like these 5 to 15 minute episodes. That was like super common. With Haruhi, I believe that one was all done in 3D. Like they did these chibi 3D models for their web series.
It's all in a flashback, huh?
Yeah, more or less.
Apparently.
And Italy says pasta a lot.
Wow.
That's like his catchphrase.
There's more than. Oh my God! How many seasons are there?
I don't know.
4,
Like I said, it only took me a couple sittings
5.
because how short they are.
6.
They might have been long sittings though. Like I might have been at the computer all day.
There are 147 episodes.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I used to do that. I think like, God, what was it? What year? Because I didn't watch it when it was new. I don't think I watched it when it was new. I must have watched it maybe in like 2012 or 13, I think, right? And I just sat there working on something like art or whatever, like a comic, and that would just be on my other monitor the entire day that I'm sitting there at the desk working. And I would just binge through the whole thing. So when I say a sitting, I could have been there anywhere between 8 to like 14 hours, depending on the day.
Well, considering Monster has 74 episodes, and I can't seem to get through that inside a year, I don't know if I can sit
that's
through
true.
174 episodes. Oh man.
You don't have to sit through the whole thing. You probably only need to watch like a season or 2. Like you get the gist of it pretty fast after like a season or 2.
Yeah, I don't see it. There a description that says how long the episodes are. But yeah, I can imagine they must be pretty short.
I really like their depiction of Ukraine and how Russia is like a possessive like yandere ex that keeps trying to get Ukraine back. And,
Is Russia a girl or?
I think actually all of them because they're the motherland. I think Ukraine, Russia, and Poland are all girl, and like Belarus, because like Belarus is the one who's actually like in charge of that.
Okay.
And like maybe it was Poland. One of them has like really huge tracts of land. And like when she moves, you can actually hear her bouncing.
Really?
Yeah, it goes like boom.
Which one,
boom,
Belarus?
Boom. No, Belarus is flat. Belarus is like a tiny girl.
Okay. Which one is the?
It was either, I can't remember. It's been so many years since I watched it. It was either Ukraine or Poland. It was Ukraine? Okay, my initial thought was Ukraine because of the dynamics between them. And Ukraine's just like this really like busty old country girl. And she's like nice too. And it's like, I would love to come back, but my The president won't let me, or whatever. It actually points to like the president at the time or the prime minister or whatever. It's like, no, you cannot rejoin the Soviet Union.
That's funny. In the Wikipedia, there's a link to a show called, I guess a manga. I guess it's just a manga called Afghanistan. Afghanistan. It's about this little chibi girl. Who apparently trips and falls a lot. That's in her character description.
Oh, that sounds like Afghanistan. It's the place where empires go to die.
Yeah.
Well, we got some good news. Disney pulled the plug on the Cats remake. And so now we don't have to deal with an Aristocats live-action remake. That you would also still question how much of it's live action because all the cats would have to be animated, and that's who you spend the majority of the time with. So,
oh, they'd be animated, but like look realistic.
Yeah, it'd be like Lion King style, but the story of the Aristocats, like the plug was pulled on that one. Thank God. I wouldn't watch it anyway, but I just don't want it existing. I love the Aristocats. I'd rather just go watch the old movie again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's funny. People don't understand the whole, whenever someone's like, well, why don't you just, if you like the old one, just watch the old one. I'm like, well, I do, but I don't want the new one existing. I don't want anyone to be able to see.
Yeah, like if it wasn't bad, I wouldn't care.
Name of it.
Right? Like even if it was just barely good, right? Then it'd be like, okay, well, if it's just barely good, that might actually inspire some people to go see the original, right? But if it's bad, who's going to want to even go watch to see the original? Like you said, Solis, they might think the original's bad too.
Yeah, really.
Everybody wants to be a cat.
Well, good. I was watching, the Critical Drinker was talking about the original Wizard of Oz. And all of, because I guess it went through some production hell. It was very difficult to make. And he was saying, apparently
Wizard of Oz is the
was a
definition
remake.
Of production hell.
Yeah. Apparently there had been 6 or 7 attempts at the Wizard of Oz before that. So that was actually like the 7th remake.
Yeah, it's just like the first popular one.
Yeah.
But you didn't have to be massively successful back then, right? Like almost anybody with a decent amount of budget could have made a movie and put it in some theaters, right? They weren't as worried about it as they are now, where like you have to make at least 2.5 times your budget to be a success. But when a movie was successful...
Yeah, well, it was...
Woohoo.
Yeah. Well, it's, it was a Disney, right? Disney movie and first movie in Technicolor, so it was almost a guaranteed success unless it just totally stunk. And
I would love...
I guess it didn't sink.
A book-accurate Wizard of Oz adaptation, which there have been a couple cartoons that have existed. And they're all right. People should go watch them. But I would love like a live-action Wizard of Oz that's actually accurate to the books. The closest I think we ever got was Return to Oz. But that played a little too much into the... what's it called? That like sort of 80s Jim Henson... it was MGM. The lines in front of it. When it opens up. Yeah. But yeah, it plays a little too much into the Jim Henson Dark Crystal vibe that a lot of stuff were playing into at the time that was made. Not to say that you couldn't extrapolate that from the books, but the books while being dark, were also still kind of like very light-hearted children books. So you kind of need to like split the difference between those two if you really want to capture the vibe of it.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, they definitely, I guess you could say Disney-fied it, even though it was MGM.
I don't know. I wouldn't say that.
I feel like they left out. No?
No, well, because also if you think about...
Felt like they left out some stuff.
Well, they left out a lot of stuff. But you have to think about it in context to, like, the film industry at the time, right? Musicals were just the thing, right? Because a lot of film at that time was basically just, like, theater, but shot on camera.
Yeah.
So they movie-fied it, because that's just how they were making films when the original Wizard of Oz came out.
Mm-hmm. Well, I was watching. Yeah, so I was saying I was watching the Critical Drinker. Apparently, their first attempt with a different director, they basically tried to make it like a stage play. Like Dorothy had this big blonde wig and you know, a lot of makeup and all this stuff, and they started filming for like 3 weeks, and then executives came in, took a look at what they had so far, and it's like, nope, scrapped it, fired the director, start all over.
Yeah. Which there actually should be shots that survive somewhere. I haven't seen them, just because not everything from the behind the scenes, behind the production of the original Wizard of Oz was saved or even colorized. But there should be shots out there of, what was her name? Garland, right? In heavy makeup herself for the black and white scenes. Because didn't have to wear all the makeup you used to have to wear in black and white for the scenes they were going to colorize with Technicolor, because they were just going to go in and add the color anyway. So people could basically be flush. But in the actual like sepia scenes, which they had to shoot like they were shooting black and white, you would have had to wear all the high contrast makeup that people used to have to wear for black and white movies.
Yeah. Did they colorize it? Like, I thought it was actually, I mean, maybe they touched it up or something, but I thought
a lot of that
they
color's
filmed
fake.
it. Okay.
Just because that was the limitation of the
that
technology at the time.
Yeah. I know they had to have really bright lights in order to film it in color to begin with, which was part of the problem because it was very, very hot.
Yeah.
But yeah, I didn't know that they actually touched it up afterwards. I mean, I guess that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, at the
She
time,
does
it was
have very
basically
obviously
the only way you could do it was to actually color up the cells afterwards.
Yeah, I know she did. She had very, very, red cheeks and stuff. Like, her blush looked kind of fake.
Oh, like basically everything was.
For
even her hair, right? It was more saturated than her actual real life hair was.
Yeah. Even for 1939. I mean, I guess for 1939 it was pretty amazing. But
yeah, I love the film. Yeah. It's one of my favorites. I've probably seen it like 100 times, mostly because of my dad.
Yeah.
Maybe I haven't seen that much. I know he has, for sure. Maybe I've seen it half as many times as he has. I don't even think it looks bad, ever. Some people will say it looks dated. And I think, like, I first saw it when I was a kid. So it still has that charm and wonderment of when I saw it as a kid that I think it holds up well enough. But especially when you consider the limitations of the technology, you're like, man, that would have been the most fantastic thing anybody had seen on the big screen at the time that it came out.
Oh, yeah. It's funny. I feel like the images we see now, like the video and everything of it, has to have been touched up since then.
Oh, yeah.
Don't you think?
All of it has.
Or is that? Yeah. Because at least the footage, like in this video I watched, was like it was like HD and stuff, and it was just,
Well, okay.
seemed flawless.
So that you don't need to necessarily touch up as long as you have the original film. The thing about film is because it is physical and you can shine a light through it, as long as you can get the right focus, you can take old film and you can bring it up to like 4K, 8K. That's not a problem at all, right? The color is the touch up part, right? Like if you want to continuously, even a lot of the behind the scenes stuff was never colorized because it was just supposed to be behind the scenes. So that was all in black and white. And modernly, it's way easier to touch it up, right? Because they don't have to go and paint the cells. They can literally just go in with like after everything's been scanned in, bring it into like After Effects and add color on it. It's like so easy. They have AI help do that. It was like the guy who's the director, the guy who did the Beatles behind the scene thing recently. Where it's like all of that film was in black and white and they touched it up. And they basically used AI to add color to things that were never in color.
That's cool. Well, it does look very impressive nowadays.
Yeah. There's actually a benefit to making movies on film. The problem with like all these digital movies that have been made in recent years, there's a limit without maybe, having language models or image models or whatever be able to fill in and interpolate. But there's a limit to how big you can ever make those movies because at a certain scale, they'll start to what's the opposite of compression? They'll start to have artifacts from the volumetric expansion of the pixels. While with film, it's like that. Sure. As long as you can shine a light through it and capture the light that's shined through, you can kind of make that as big as you want, and it won't lose any focus to it. It's different with animation because it's painted on there, but that's still fine. Like it's still going to look good to the eye, but it's like if it captured something that's physical and real, it's like the detail to it is down to the molecule in the film, and you could just shine light through it.
Yeah. That's an advantage to physical media in that respect. If you have the original.
Yeah, if you do. There's a lot of movies where like the masters are just gone from fires and stuff, studio lot fires, floods.
Yeah. That one, I would imagine they would protect with their life.
Yeah.
As far as
I think the most valuable reel of film that exists is if somebody still has the masters for Gone with the Wind.
Yeah. That was MGM too, wasn't it?
I don't know. It could be. They did a lot of book adaptations. To date, I think that's still like the most valuable movie that's ever been made.
Most valuable?
Yep.
In terms of like box office?
Yeah, box office, but also re-releases and stuff. Because that movie, not just in theater, or like not just on VHS, Blu-ray, Laserdisc, like every type of medium ever, but that movie has probably seen more post-theatrical runs in theaters than like any other movie ever.
Yeah, except Wizard of Oz.
Yeah,
apparently Wizard of Oz is the most watched movie of all time. I bet you Gone with the Wind is close.
It probably is, yeah.
Also released in 1939. Amazing. Quite a year.
Oh, yeah.
Which was also the year that my father was released.
Released? Like born?
The year he was born.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It's like from prison? That would make him even older than I thought he was.
Yeah. No, that's the year he debuted. Interestingly.
Yeah, yep. Well, there's a adaptation that is coming out very soon. It will be in theaters sooner than later, but because Netflix is producing it, we might as well just wait till Netflix because it's going to be very limited. So finding a theatrical release of this is going to be hard anyway. And that is Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein, which seems to be a pretty interesting one. It does look like it's going to follow the story of the book a lot closer than most adaptations of Frankenstein do. Ever since the Universal Frankenstein that came out like 100 years ago, almost nobody follows the book story anymore. They'd rather do something more similar to that. But it's still not going to be a straight adaptation. It is going to be following more of like a John Milton's Paradise Lost style of storytelling of like the rise and fall of this creature. Which is still fine. As long as it follows the events of the story, you can poetically tell it however way you want. My biggest problem is that most of them just don't actually follow the events of the story. But I love Del Toro. He's great when it comes to like monsters and doing like over-the-top sets and letting you really breathe in the atmosphere of the world he's working with. So that kind of excites me for it. I think he's a great director.
But it's Netflix?
Yes. So it'll be in theaters in a limited run October 17th, but it'll be globally released on Netflix in November on the 7th.
Interesting. Very interesting.
Yep, it's going to be very much into the gothic science fiction, which is great because Frankenstein kind of takes place in that Victorian era, so mixing like gothic vibes and scenes into it of the era is a great way of actually like displaying the life of the time.
Yeah.
And at no point do I think they refer to the monster as Frankenstein, from what I've heard. So that's already a plus. Frankenstein's the scientist. You want to call him Frankie Jr., that's fine, you know? In fact, his name's not even the monster. He's only called a monster like once or twice in the book. The closest thing to a name he has is the creature, because he is the creation.
Yeah. Whoops, my monitor went out. That was weird. Oh, here it comes. Yeah, I'm just kind of reading a little bit about his take and well, it's hard to tell exactly, but apparently he does, you know, think very highly of the book and everything, and it seems like
when I was reading his like interview on it, he was talking about how he never understood religion as a child growing up Catholic, but when he saw the like Karloff playing Frankenstein's monster, right? He's like, I understand religion now. Like filmmaking was the religion to him. And that one was like the one that did it for him, and he's been obsessed with filmmaking since then, and he's always wanted to tackle that. He likes pretty much every version of Frankenstein. I like almost every version too, despite my criticism that like I want one that is truer to the book than most you get. I think that's another case where there's like an animated version that's really close to the book, but there's not really. You're struggling to find live action versions that are actually close without having to dip into like foreign markets that are super low budget. But he wants to take a lot of the vibes that you get from the classic like Frankenstein and Bride of Frankenstein and bring some of those vibes to the actual story of the book.
Well, he says something about, I guess, you know, because he's Mexican, right? Guillermo del Toro. He says that he, I guess, picked up on a rhythm of the particular language that Mary Shelley used in the book.
Yeah,
I guess more than a native speaker of English might. because it's his second language, and that he tried to keep the dialogue very true to the
like
sort of the
Victorian era
in the book.
Yeah.
But he says he tried not to make it sound too archaic, but at least have a similar feel.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
it's probably the cadence is the most important part for him, right? It's less about the language itself and more the way people are speaking.
Yeah. If you're going to put that much care and detail into it, I would think that overall it would be a pretty good movie.
Yeah. Fizz is asking, does anyone care about public domain monsters anymore? Well, I don't. I guess he is technically in the public domain, but I don't know if I would refer to him as a public domain monster. I care about Frankenstein, and a lot of people do. As a book, it is one of the most influential books on like British and American literature, right? For like English speakers and just literature in general, like everybody from everywhere pulls from it. It's also one of the most influential books on the later genre of sci-fi. It is one of the earliest things that you can actually call science fiction. It works entirely within what people could postulate at the time that it was written. So it is contemporary sci-fi to the time. People love Frankenstein. I don't know if anybody will ever get looking at there have been recent Dracula and the spin-off Nosferatu, right? There have been recent versions of both of that. And they both did well. So I don't think people get tired of these old culturally important stories.
Yeah, and I mean this does seem like I don't want to say a unique take because it sounds like it's very close to the original book, but it's definitely not, focusing on the horror or the cartoonish aspects of the creature or things like that. It's more humanized.
Going at it from like this Miltonian perspective, right? That he mentions, like taking it like John Milton would write it. He's focused more on the suffering of the characters, the drama of it, which is also mostly of what happened in the book too. So he's kind of bringing that back that a lot of versions don't do. I'm excited for it, It
looks very cold because it seems doesn't the whole book like actually take place in the Antarctic or maybe the Arctic?
No, well, the whole book doesn't, but that's actually where we start. Is with them like pulling Victor.
It's all flashback.
Yeah, out of the icy water before his ultimate demise at the end. But he's like telling the people on the ship what's going on, but he's not actually telling them. He's talking to us in the audience. We're hearing more about like what's going on in his head and everything.
Yeah.
And that's why the whole story is told out of order too, which classically you might call a part story, but more contemporarily, you would just call it a non-sequential or non-linear story, where it'll jump between like what's going on with Victor, times that were going on with the monster that you kind of wonder like, how do we know if Victor wasn't there for it? But then later you find out that the monster actually told Victor about a lot of the stuff. So we're kind of hearing like a secondhand reimagining of Victor's interpretation of what the monster went through. It's a very complex and deep story. If you think about it, but it's also simple enough that like anybody can read it and enjoy the story without having to think about the complexity of what's going on.
Wasn't it done originally in like letters sent to the newspaper kind of a thing?
Well, the original inception of the story too was a contest between Shelley and I don't want to call her husband because they technically weren't married and she was kind of cheating on the person she actually was supposed to be with. Her
partner.
Yeah, I guess you could call that. Like, what would you call the male equivalent of a mistress? I guess her master. I don't know. But like, she was off like vacationing with him and another couple, and they were all having like a horror story contest, and this was the idea she came up, and then those letters were fleshing out that initial horror story. But she had like a fever dream. Like it came to her in a fever dream.
Mm. Her paramour.
Yeah. I guess if that's the term for it, yeah.
Apparently.
She was like 18 when this story was published. I think 16 when she started writing it. Yeah.
What was it? Oh, there was a film. I hate it when they're pretentious. There's a film, I guess, in 1994 called Mary Shelley's Frankenstein. I guess that might have been.
Yeah, that one I think
close
was
to the
probably
original.
closer. I think I remember watching it. I just don't remember it very well.
Hmm. Hey, she only lived to be.
Should I do math right
53. Here? So, what's that?
here? You trying to do math right there? Or?
Yeah, I was trying to subtract, but she died in February and was born in August. Yeah. You know, when you only live to be 53, you gotta start having these lovers sooner.
Well, also like maybe she could have lived longer because she was an aristocrat, right? And those people, on average, having money tend to live longer. But you also have to think about how much lower the what's it called, life expectancy was at that time.
Mm-hmm.
It's like somebody made it 53. You were cheering on them compared to like now, where it's like if somebody doesn't make it to their 70s, you're like, man, they went too early.
Yeah. Well, I guess her husband actually died when she was 24. So that's rough.
Yep. But definitely one of the most influential pieces of fiction in modern culture. It is up there on the list. And so
Yeah.
I don't think
That's right.
anybody's going to say there's too many Frankenstein stories or like Frankenstein's too old. It's like enough people will still. The problem is just don't overspend by too much. And from what I saw, Guillermo opted in for entirely practical effects for the entire movie. So you can still overspend going entirely practical effects if you build like entire castles for set or something like that. Waterworld is a perfect example of overspending with practical effects. But compared to what people spend on computer graphics these days, and the fact that they don't have like an artistic vision and shoot like 6 different movies and decide which one they want in the editing floor, he's probably not overspending. He's the type of guy that goes in, he's got a vision, they're building the sets for everything, they rehearse everything. He's not going to... even if he overspends, he didn't waste any of his budget. It was all intent. So they're probably going to make more than enough money back, because as long as you don't overspend, there will always be enough people who want to see a movie like this.
Yeah. I'd say as long as you have a unique take or a new way of telling the story.
And you respect
people,
the art as well as your audience. If you got those two things down, you're good.
Yeah. I mean, frankly, I like the version of Frankenstein's monster from Van Helsing.
Yeah, I kind of do.
It's pretty good for what it was.
Yeah.
You know, kind of a silly adventure story.
The monster is supposed to be like 7 feet tall, which is always the funniest thing. Like, do you know why the monster was so big?
They put in too many parts. I don't know.
No, it was so he could work on it easier. He figured like bigger body parts would be easier to like work on the nerves and everything. But the question is like, because he robbed graves for all this, where did he find enough body parts from 7 foot tall people? Because you can't just take body parts from smaller people to make a 7 foot tall monster.
Yeah.
Like he'd go all across Europe.
Different people.
Because he had to find stuff that I guess, weren't too damaged. So like you couldn't just get everything from one person necessarily, but they also had to all be fresh enough parts though too. So it's like, where did he get enough parts? That's always been the one problem that I've really had with my suspension of disbelief with the story. Like I kind of get the idea is like I want to work with bigger parts so it's easier to work with, but it's like,
did he have a freezer that he kept them in? I mean,
yeah, well actually because he worked in like a basement or whatever. That was like underneath. I think it was like a cafe. Because it was basically like, you know how there are dives in the street where you actually go downstairs and everything? His laboratory was in a main city downstairs like that. So he might have been like below the butcher or something. I don't remember exactly. The last time I read the book, which was like the third time I read the book, was in my senior year of high school.
I guess a butcher would hide the smell, or you could
very well, yeah. But it wasn't at the his like fiance's castle or anything like that. It was in a city because he needed to be close enough to like where the graveyards and everything were.
Yeah. And if you did have to have ice delivered, you know.
Oh, you know, Fizz actually brings up a good point too, right? He specifically would have sought out disproportionate people, right? So like they didn't have to be 7 foot tall. He just needed to find like a 6'2" person with a particularly long set of legs, and then maybe like another 6'3" person with a particularly long torso. That could work. Yeah, I could kind of see that. Maybe if you get enough of that, that might be able to push you up to like 7 foot tall.
Mm-hmm.
Especially in Europe, there are plenty of like 6+ people. Sure.
Wasn't sure if Fitzgerald was asking if anybody saw that he liked Renfield, but I liked it too.
I didn't watch it.
Thought it was
I'm not against watching it. It was just one of those things I wasn't going to go to the theaters to watch, but if it's on like streaming, maybe I'd catch it now.
Mm-hmm. Well, I like that actor. He was in a lot of kind of silly, parody monster movies. Like he's in, what's it called, Warm Bodies or something like that, or the one where he's a zombie, but like
he like has his consciousness and he falls in love with someone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
I thought Renfield did well enough though. Like I think it made back more than its budget in marketing.
Yeah.
It's one of the things that I think it will probably have a cult following years later. Like it's not going to be massively popular, but there'll be people who bring it up and want to go back and rewatch it and stuff.
What did he have to do? Like 8 bugs or something that made him strong? I think that was a thing in that movie.
But I think that's also like with a lot of these older stories too. Most of them end up becoming cult followings. Like they might do great in the theaters, but it's like, well, it's an interpretation, so everybody's going to have like their favorite interpretation of the story. And that's fine. Like, because as long as you do well enough in your initial, like your box office, you're happy to have a cult following. You don't need to be the most popular thing ever. And I think that's actually just where Del Toro is too, like coming up to the new Frankenstein. Most of his stuff kind of like, they're popular when they happen and then they just fade into a cult following. And it's almost the same people. It's like there's a Del Toro cult, so they just watch all of his stuff.
Yeah. I was just going to say, apparently they've released a new intro cinematic for Evil East Chronicles.
Oh, nice. Yeah,
you can watch that on Thursday. That looks really good.
For some reason, there was like a whole... Yeah, there was a whole like a live letter direct thing for it over with Square. Like, was it yesterday or the day before that? I saw it in my feed. I just didn't bother watching it. But yeah, we can watch that on Thursday.
Yeah. I thought for a second that there was like they were making a movie out of it or something, but apparently not.
They should.
Intro.
Listen, Advent Children, which a lot of people don't like, apparently. But to me, that's like the best outside media that Square's made, it's also better than most of the game, like the Final Fantasy games that they've made in the last decade. And the game is like older than the last decade. Or not that game, the movie. Advent Children's like 20 years old now. I think this is actually, it was 2005. I think this is the 20th anniversary for Advent Children. It still looks better than every game that they're trying to make cinematic. Some of the stuff they should just make an Advent Children style movie or show after instead of making a game.
Yeah. If they want to do something that's just like half the time is all cinematics and quick time events, just make it a movie.
Yeah.
What's the point of making a game?
I love Advent Children. I might rewatch it again soon.
It's like they all looked at the Final Fantasy movie and they're like, well, that's a bad idea.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's like Spirits Within is actually probably the thing that tanked Squaresoft and made them merge with Enix in the first place. It's also probably like the main reason why Sakaguchi left, because he went all in on Spirits Within and for some reason called it a Final Fantasy movie. Even though like the only thing it had going for it was there was a like wooden chocobo keychain in like one part of the movie and a guy named Sid. That's like all it had to do.
Yeah.
And there was like a live stream thing, sort of. Like I think they even kind of called it the live stream, but that's even only specific to 7. That doesn't show up in other games.
Yeah. And for some reason they decided to have it take place on Earth.
Yeah.
Right?
Or something.
I was like, wait. It seemed like it was Earth.
No, I thought it was like
they had like all the city names.
I don't remember.
No, they're talking about like New York.
I'd have to rewatch.
And
Yeah, I would just have to rewatch it. It's been way too long. Last time I watched it, the abbreviation for the year number still had zeros at the beginning of it. Right? They were like, we were still in the aughts. I have not rewatched that movie since the aughts.
Yeah, it's almost like, I guess they looked at that and they were like, well, I guess it's a bad idea to make a movie, but
yeah, but like
we're
Kingsglaive
going to make
did
a
pretty
movie
good.
and just pretend it's a game.
Right.
Yeah.
Like the Final Fantasy 15 kind of thing did well enough.
I never saw that.
Yeah. They released it, I think,
Probably
like in
should.
parts as like shorts. So in some ways it feels like watching one of those old Stephen King miniseries where it's like it's a movie. It's just released over the course of like 4 days at half an hour at a time or whatever it was. Maybe an hour at a time.
Yeah.
I think maybe they're pretty long. But that's kind of like how it was. Like they release chunks, and there's a Kingsglaive like animated film. And I think you can just watch the whole thing now.
I'm sure.
Yeah, like they still do this stuff periodically. I would love them to make more media in general. Like I would like them to make a new Final Fantasy anime that is not even connected to the games. Like I would love to see an adaptation of the game, but just something that's not. A lot of people don't remember this fondly, but I loved Final Fantasy Unlimited, which is one of those things where it doesn't have the story of a Final Fantasy game, like the type that you expect from it. And if you were to make a game out of it mechanically, you wouldn't be able to make a Final Fantasy game. But it has the feeling of a Final Fantasy world or spin-off story. So this is the best way to do it, is like just make it an animated series instead. Because that honestly, as much as I like it, it would be a horrible game if you tried to make that into a game.
What, the Kingsglaive?
No, Final Fantasy Unlimited.
Oh, okay.
I think you could watch the whole thing on YouTube, because I don't even think Square cares about it. Like Square tries to forget about Final Fantasy Unlimited. No, well, I don't know about Kingsglaive. Unlimited. Like I think
I don't know what you're talking about. Okay.
I've mentioned Final Fantasy Unlimited like 5 times already, and that's what I've been talking about for like the last few minutes.
I don't even know what that is, so I'm like,
Yeah, it was an animated
sticking
series
with
that
me.
they made back in like the aughts. That's straight up just like 2D anime. Though I think there's some 3D in it, but is about a train actually, sort of like the Spirit Train, right? And it was like these two kids would go between realms in like this Final Fantasy-esque world on this train, and it would take them from place to place. They kind of sort of had like this guardian who had like this steel thing on his right arm that would transform into a gun, and he would load like powdered crystals into the gun as ammo, and it would summon things. So he was kind of like a weird way of being a summoner or evoker, and they would just have a bunch of crazy adventures. There was some cool cast in it. Very tragic ending to the series that I'm not going to spoil, but it just had a really nice aesthetic, really nice vibe to it. The stories were kind of fun. There was a Chocobo that was named, I think his name was just Choco, or Chobo. Might have been Chobo. It's been a while since I watched it. Or Chobi? It was some Chocobo name, right? That sounded like the words Chocobo. Like, it might have been Chobi. But this was an identified Chocobo. There was a bunch of unidentified ones too, but this guy kept showing up. The kids formed a relationship with this Chocobo. A lot of Final Fantasy stuff in it. It had the vibes of Final Fantasy. Really fun adventure. I even think like the last summon in it was like a Bahamut. Like they actually summoned a Bahamut at the end. And worth it. It's just like a single season. You can just power through the whole thing. And Square tries to forget about it, more or less.
Yeah, apparently it's hard to find. I found the first episode on YouTube, but nothing more than that.
Yeah, maybe a lot of it got taken down, or maybe some of the channels got deleted. When I watched it, I think I just watched the whole thing on YouTube, as whole episodes, back at like 2007 or 8. I don't remember exactly when. I just didn't want to be involved with anybody during Thanksgiving that year until the meal. Like they could just all do their thing, and I shut myself in the room and just watch that for the whole day.
Yeah. Well, that's smart. Apparently there are 25 episodes of it.
Yeah, it was like a single season.
Let me see.
And that's what a season was back then.
Okay. Man, it is even hard to find on certain sites. There we go. There it is. I found it. Interesting.
My friends and I used to always joke about the abbreviation for it because it was FFU.
Yeah. No, it's not even on this site. That's crazy. It's hard to find.
Yeah, I don't think they sell Blu-rays of it or anything either. Like Square kind of memory hold it.
Yeah, apparently the universe did too. It's like trying to find it on various, sites, and it's not even here. That's crazy. Kingsglaive at least was listed on Netflix, but I guess it's on YouTube
Japan
TV.
only, or maybe. Well, I'm sure it's probably on Netflix too, but it might be region locked.
It's not. No, maybe.
Yeah.
Like it's listed, but not actually there, or not viewable.
But if you like logged in
Okay, here we
from locally in Japan, you probably could see it there.
Yeah. Oh, interesting. Yeah, here it is. I finally found it. Interesting. Yeah. I've never seen this. I've also never seen the Ultima anime, but I don't know how many episodes they actually made of that. Or if they did more than just the, like a trailer.
Oh, yeah. At least FFU actually came to an end. Like, there was a last episode. It was a limited one-season series that starts and ends. It doesn't leave you on a cliffhanger or anything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's very depressing. Or, I don't know, bittersweet. It's got a bittersweet ending.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Kind
it's
of like
called
Burst
Exit.
Angel. Exodus?
That's interesting. Yeah, there's a little-known anime produced to promote Ultima 3 for the NES. Maybe it was just a commercial. It's interesting.
Probably have never seen the Final Fantasy V movie either, have you?
Final Fantasy V movie.
Yeah, there's an animated Final Fantasy V movie.
Well, I saw the remake of it, I guess. The My Story or whatever on Netflix. That was basically a Final Fantasy, wasn't it? Or was it Dragon Quest?
There's the
Quest
Dragon
5,
Quest
right?
one. Yeah. There was different
Oh, okay.
five. No, there's one that like took place. God, what was it? Generations after Final Fantasy V. It's an old movie. It's like almost around the time of Final Fantasy V, with like this big, almost naked-looking chocobo. Like it doesn't have feathers on or anything. And I think I'm trying to remember. It's been a while since I watched it. It might be Bart's descendant. But it takes place in the world of Final Fantasy V, but it's disconnected from the events of it.
Weird.
Which reminded me of it when you said Exodus, because that's the actual Japanese name for X-Death.
Oh, okay. Yeah, this is very confusing. I wonder if this is just...
There's a lot of
Lost
Final
media.
Fantasy media, and I'm like the only fucking person who's watched most of it. I still need to read that manga they put out a couple years ago, especially because it's a finished limited series. It'll be easy for me to go through like the kind of like Final Fantasy Isekai or whatever. We even saw it when we were walking around in the mall at that one bookstore. They had like a volume of it, and it's like, yeah, I should just read that. I should just sit down and read the whole thing. I could review it on this show if I bothered to sit down and read the whole thing.
Yeah, okay, here it is. Final Fantasy Legend of the Crystals,
Mm-hmm.
a 4-episode anime OVA from 1994, or in the US, 1998, that takes place 200 years after the events of Final Fantasy
Yeah, it's like
V.
generations later. The way I watched it was basically a movie, but it was an OVA, so it's like it's more or less like a 4-part miniseries. If you watch it all at once, it's like watching one of those old Stephen King miniseries or whatever. I see it as a movie.
Huh. Well, here's the trailer for it. But I wonder where you could find it to watch.
Yeah, because a lot of the ones that I used to watch just aren't available the way I used to watch it. A lot of this stuff used to just be up on YouTube before people got like really DMCA crazy about stuff.
Mm-hmm. Oh, here it is. On YouTube, all 4 English dubs put together in one 2-hour video on YouTube. Interesting. Well, cool. At least that's not lost.
Yeah.
Totally lost media. Very nice. Man, you got a wealth of knowledge of this stuff.
Well, I used to, but I still kind of am. That's why I'm forcing myself to play through 16 right now. But I used to be really, really into Final Fantasy. It was like one of my favorite things.
Yeah. Well, me too, but only because I, played the original when it came out.
Yeah.
And 1 through 6 and a little bit of 7 were, well, basically just 1 through 6 were my entire childhood growing up. Is there still an area where I can paste stuff in Discord and have it show up in the chat, or does it not do that anymore? Oh, live stream.
Oh, no. Yeah, well, yeah, it doesn't relay things anymore.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll put it in the chat anyway.
If you put it in there, I will see it on my screen because it does bring it up to the restream chat. I just don't have that on screen anymore.
Mm-hmm.
It only pops up if we're doing some other show that isn't Super Serial Showtime or Game Central Junction. Like if I am streaming a game, I have the chat up on the side or whatever.
Oh.
But anyway, we are over. And I know you've got other things that you need to do tonight, even though that it still may not be till later. But it's probably a good time to wrap up the show. So thank you all for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed it, whether you're watching now or I'm catching you guys in the future watching the VOD. We hope you guys have a wonderful week, and we will see you no later than Thursday for Game Central Junction. So be there. Same time, same place.
I'll try to be there. See you.